Welcome back, Shalligators and Swifties. Today we're going to talk about Taylor Swift's ex, or is he, Matty Healy, yes, with the teeth, that one, dissing her and what we can learn from it. Because when I read you what he's apparently saying about her, trigger warning for this video. If you've ever been in a situationship, I would remove anything sharp from your immediate vicinity because you might get a little stabby. Okay, we're gonna break it all down and get into it. But before we do, you guys, our Italy trips are almost sold out and there's only a few days left to book. I think we've got 4 days left to book. We've got 2 trips, one to the Amalfi Coast in early September that's gonna take you through Rome, and then the beautiful Amalfi Coast with, Positano and the beach areas, and we go to Le Serenus and just all of the Pinterest perfect photos that you see of the Amalfi Coast. That's what we're gonna live. Trip number 2 is a month later in early October, and that is going to be the Jewels of Italy. This is a great trip if you've never been to Italy and you really want to see all of the highlights. Rome, Tuscany, and Florence. I've actually lived in all 3 places. I am a wealth of historical knowledge. I apologize in advance. There's no shutting me off once I get going. But we are going to go to all of the amazing museums. We're going to have some pasta making classes, eat at the local places. It's a tour for people who don't go on tours because I'm not like a tour person. So we're going to see Italy through my eyes and through the eyes of locals. And here's a big question you guys have been asking. Is there like an age range? Because I ran into a Shalligator. Hi, Tatiana, in LA. And she's like, I would love to go on the trips. I just feel like, I'm not like 25. Our age ranges on these trips are 22 to 62, dead ass, on the same trip. And the 62-year-old Lynn, she was a party starter. I mean, watch out. So these are not like Gen Z booze fest trips. And you know what's funny? When I was thinking, I was like, how old is the average age on this trip? I don't even know because it just doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter at all. You're just there. You're just you. No one's like, I can't sit with you. I'm sitting with the millennials. It's just not like that. And anything you want to do, you're going to find someone else who's willing to do it. It's like, hey, does anybody want to head back early? You got girls. Anybody want to have a few extra shots of limoncello? You got girls. So please acknowledge that your friends are never going to take these kinds of plans off the group chat. They're not. If you've been waiting your whole life to go to Italy and you're like, I just need to wait till my friends are ready, they're not going to be ready. We are ready. Come with us. Come with us. It's all planned. All you have to do is show up and be magical. We're bringing a photographer on both trips. Like I said, these are going to sell out and we've only got a few days to book, so don't hesitate. And if you pay in full, you get a free 30-minute Zoom with me. We can talk about any old thing on your heart. So Matty and Taylor. I'm gonna read you something and you are gonna have feelings about it. The headline is, Why Blindsided Maddy Healy Now Finds Taylor's Album Hilarious. His friends told Us Weekly he loves the attention it's brought to him, but he also thinks it's hilarious because at no time were they ever serious. At no time were they ever serious. While you let that sink in and get furious, we're going to listen to a quick word from today's sponsor. Be right back. Alligators, do you know what I hate more and more every day? Human beings. Just having to be around other people makes me crazy. And there are some things that you just cannot do over Zoom, like getting your hair or your nails done. Not yet anyway. We'll see what the Japanese come up with. Maybe there's some tech out there. But one thing you can do remotely is your healthcare, especially the dermatology aspect. Yes, there's a platform that specializes in exactly this. It is called Nurex. Nurex is a digital healthcare platform here to give you a tailored, personalized experience to map out a journey, what I use it for, dermatology and medical grade skincare. Nurex offers more than 50 clinically tested, dermatologist recommended treatments for things like anti-aging, acne, melasma, and you know what's fun? Sometimes you get to deal with all of those things at once. Your skin doesn't just pick a lane, it wants it all. You're gonna get personalized treatment plus a full year of unlimited messaging with Nurex healthcare providers. Does your doctor let you text them? No, you'd be dealing with a restraining order. Try it. So to get started taking control of your healthcare journey, go to nurx.com/Shallon Lester. That's NURX.com/Shallon Lester to get it going. And we're back, ready to be annoyed. Let's keep reading some of these quotes from Matty Healy, who, from a few minutes ago, thinks it's hilarious Taylor was writing all these songs about him from Torture Poets Department because they were never serious. And we have talked about their situationship before. When her album came out, I did a whole video on how to get over a situationship. And you know what, guys? I gotta say, I don't even know if we're gonna get to advice in this video. I don't know. I'm so annoyed and disgusted by these quotes, which we're gonna hear more of in a second, that this video is more just like a cry for help. It's me reaching through time and space and dimensions and trying to pull Taylor in, to clutch her to my bosom, and to just soothe her because I gotta keep reading. I'm so triggered. At no time were they ever serious. Smoking. For her to be saying things about baby carriages and living together, he says it had never even come up. He's taking it in stride. Okay. Just to recap here, this woman has written like 5,000 songs about, yep, that face. Can you imagine what he smelled? I literally got full body. Oh my God, I got full body chills. Douche chills. I can't. She was so twisted about him. And he's like, we were never even like dating. Like, what is she talking about? You know what this is? It's the classic, my ex is crazy. She's not even my ex. That's how fucking crazy she is. I can't even say my ex is crazy. She's not my ex. She's just crazy. She's a crazy woman. She's a crazy woman. She is an imaginative lunatic living in a fairyland where we were together that actually never existed. I think it's telling that I'm so triggered by this. But have we not all experienced this? Is this not like such insult to injury? When we date someone and then they're like, we were never like anything. I'll be the first to admit that I play it pretty fast and loose with the term ex. I do. Because listen, it's just a vague categorization system. You know, like if it's someone who we've just had parts in each other, tongues and mouths, other things, then he's a guy I hooked up with. Okay, that's like, means like a one-off. We never went on dates. I never had feelings. There were no even beginnings of feeling. It was just not that. It was a drunken thing. It was a hookup. It was a rebound, whatever. But if we had like dates and parts, that's my ex. Well, what else? He's not a friend. I mean, am I going to put him in the same category as one of my girlfriends? We don't touch parts. I don't think I'm going to marry my best friend, Allie. Like, that's never really been on the table, you know? What? So with people that you're like closer to, you know, if you're having a deeper conversation, you're like, we were like whatever for a few months. It was always on and off, and you know, and then the details come out. But for just sort of like casual conversation purposes, like, oh, that guy, yeah, he's my ex. Oh, who's that glaring at me across the bar? That would be my ex. Like, just broad strokes. Have you ever done that or said that and had a friend be like, you guys never even dated? Oh, he's your ex now. That's interesting. You never dated. I swear to God, I could murder that person. And I honestly do not think a jury of my peers, other women, would convict me. I don't think that they would, because I think I would get on the stand and be like, she knows that boy broke my heart. And she literally says at brunch in front of everyone, you guys didn't even date. And they'd be like, she had it coming. I'd say no more. You're free to go. Go kill someone else on your way out. It's the most hurtful thing imaginable. It's the most hurtful thing imaginable. Why? Because what it means is shame. Shame on you. You should be ashamed of yourself for feeling upset about something that didn't even exist. What's next? Your imaginary friend won't talk to you? Who? His name is Davy. He lives in the oven. Who? What other fantasy lands are you creating in your mind that you're letting hurt your feelings? What's wrong with you? That's what we hear when someone tells us what we were or weren't. And yeah, I guess it's fair that the person in question has a right to be like, we were never together. This is where men fuck me up. Well, I hate men for a variety of reasons most of the time, but they're so black and white. They're so black and white. Like, you don't think of, this is what it always comes down to with cheating. Like, I have guys with girlfriends or wives up in my fucking grill all the time. You wouldn't believe it. I'm like catnip to them because I'm very like glamorous and bold and sexy and free and fun. And I'm everything that their wife in her Kohl's elastic waist sweatpants are not. Okay. At least that's how they see me in a bar. Okay. I'm awful beneath the surface. I'm nice, but they love me and they're like purring at me or like wanting to text or this and that. And I guarantee you, if their wife walked in, and because I've said this to them, I'm like, you know, you're like a dead man right now. You're a dead man walking. If your wife walked in, she would go fucking ballistic. He's like, but you know, I haven't like touched you. I haven't kissed you. We haven't had sex. Like, it's all these technicalities. I'm like, do you think any woman operates like that? This isn't a court of law. This is your heart. But it's like, well, because I did not put my weenus in her vagina, there is no cheating. Like, that is not it. When I've had an ex cheat on me, I never pictured the sexual, well, did he go down on her? Did he do that? What horrified me was the vibes. The vibes. Was he excited thinking about her? Blech. When her name was on his phone, he just like, oh, that's what sickened me. What parts went in the other ones, I could give a fuck. How this relates to Maddie and Taylor, it's like, who cares if they weren't talking about baby carriages and marriage? She had feelings. And for him to be like, is sickening to me. And we have experienced this. And it is, like I said, insult to injury. It's bad enough that they don't love you back, okay? It's bad enough. You know it, okay? It tortures you. As she titled her album, it haunts you. It's unbearable. And like we talked about in the previous Situationship video, it does that because you never really get the data to just move on. She didn't write these songs about Joe Alwyn. She had 6 years of data gathering, and when she was done, she's done. That's how it goes. Someone you never really date. They exist in myth, in fantasy. And guess what? Fantasies are perfect and they shapeshift, and you constantly compare yourself, this guy to, you know, anything. I told you in that Situationship video that when I was like, my relationship with my ex was like collapsing, I kept comparing him to Shawn Mendes, who I have not even had a situationship with. No clue, but I'm like, Shawn Mendes wouldn't do that. Shawn Mendes would have remembered what I wanted for my birthday. I was unhinged. I was not great. Talk about down bad. But that just goes to show the power of fantasy. And when you're fixated on someone you never dated, like, you know these things. Like, you know you didn't date them. That is why you're so twisted. That's why. And do you really need someone pointing it out? So I read that and I was like sick to my stomach for Taylor. Sick to my stomach. Because she does look crazy. I mean, that's always the indictment of Taylor. She's crazy. She writes about all her exes. Well, what if she's writing about someone who isn't even her ex? What's crazier than that? It's like she might as well be writing about Idris Elba or Joe Biden. You know, just like people who she also has this parasocial imagined relationship with. Here's what it comes down to. You feel not like an equal to this man who you didn't date but did date. He's your boyfriend, but he's not your boyfriend. You feel like a fan. Because what you in essence have is a parasocial relationship, an imagined connection to someone who doesn't know you or care. You're not involved at all. You feel like a fan. That's so gross. That's pretty hard to swallow. That's pretty hard to swallow. I mean, there is a ton of people who have a parasocial relationship with a celebrity like Selena Gomez. But I think they know that Selena doesn't know who they are. I think Taylor reasonably believes Maddy Healy knows who she is, that they did have something. It actually is not entirely in her own mind. And men like him, and they're like smoking and typing and fucking and smoking and typing at the same time, and like balancing a typewriter on a chest, and he's smoking, typing and fucking. They say things. They say things. And it's like, are you paying attention to the words coming out of your mouth? I feel like you're not. Do you know which ex I'm about to bring up? Yep. Oh, hold on, shut my mouth. I was never his ex, Tom. And the last major blow up we had, I mean, there've been just a billion, is I stopped speaking to him because we 100% had the conversation. Are we doing this? It's been years of on and off situationships. Are we doing this? He's like, yes, let's give this a shot. And deleted that from his memory bank. I hung up on him. I was so mad. I'm like, you don't remember asking me to be your girlfriend? Because what led us to that conversation is he hadn't spoken to me for 5 days. I'm like, I'm your girlfriend. What the fuck are you doing? He's like, you are? Since when are you my girlfriend? Got it. He's like an alcoholic, so it's possible he doesn't remember, but I don't care. That's not my problem. That's his problem. To keep control of what you're saying and to live your life with just a modicum of sanity and dignity, I don't know. And what hurts about this is exactly how foolish you feel. I remember, I've brought this up a lot, but it's just so wise. I can't ever let go of it. My ex-husband and I were talking one time about cheating and why cheating is so painful. And he's like, because it means you've been making decisions based on a reality that doesn't exist. And men are obviously so driven by their egos, you know? And so to make a man feel foolish, cuckolded, is unforgivable. It's unforgivable. Is it any more forgivable for us? I don't know. Maybe so, because I feel like women find themselves in situationships and men don't. So maybe it is forgivable for us. But that perfectly encapsulates the feeling you have with a situationship when your ex trashes you. You've been making these decisions based on a reality that simply is not there. That's what I was doing with my ex Tom. I was spending that time thinking my boyfriend isn't speaking to me. Is he okay? And he's like, who the fuck are you? Okay. Yeah. So then the domino effect to this is, what else have I been imagining in my life? Where else am I a clown? Is my best friend my best friend? I don't know. If I'm like, this is my best friend, she'd be like, am I moving up at my job? Or is that also like, oh, is that what you think? Is my body getting stronger? Or is my trainer like, oh. I mean, you pull back and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Can I trust myself to look at a situation accurately? I don't know. So let's try to find some advice in this, because I am twisted about this. It's just, I remember one guy I was dating. I thought we were dating. We were dating. We were going out on dates and sleeping together and meeting each other's friends. That is in fact dating. And he said to me, I just don't know that I'm ready for a girlfriend. And I was like, Peter, you have a girlfriend. I am your girlfriend. Like, what are you talking about? Here's what would be different if he's like, I think we need to break up. I blah, 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 blah. But no. That wasn't the messaging. It's, I don't want a girlfriend. You have one. Like, the time to decide this was 4 months ago when we started dating. And it's the gaslight. It's the fucking gaslight. Why can't you just say, hey, I've had an amazing time being your boyfriend. I have to XYZ, we're breaking up. Thank you. At least then I don't feel fucking crazy. My heart is broken, not 1% differently, but at least I don't look at myself like a clown. Is that really too much to ask? Is that too much to ask of these men that we give our time, our empathy, our fucking bodies to? Is that so much to ask? Can you just pretend that we were in a relationship? Because we were. Instead of being like, I don't know. Do you even exist? Are you a hologram? I don't care. It's the disrespect. It's the disrespect. Yeah, what can we learn? I mean, obviously, not to get into these relationships. And like, duh, no shit. No one's like, I'm going to strike up a situationship. It happens slowly. And obviously, everyone around us can see what's going on, which is, again, a layer of horror. Because what I've noticed with, situationships like this, like, it's this concept of, but we know what we have. I don't care if the rest of the world can see it. And as I get older, that is more and more true for me. I don't care what this looks like. I know him. He knows me. We know what we have. Getting all weird and cryy. But then when that person is like, what do we have? You feel like you are the little prince on this little planet of rock all by yourself, gazing into this abyss. So, okay. Here's something. Here's a little bit of a pep talk. Fuck anyone who is trying to tell you what your feelings should be. Fuck them. And they might be coming at you with truly the best intentions. They might. And we talked about this in the last video. I think it was about A Court of Thorns and Roses. Even if you haven't read that book, you should watch the videos. Not just because it's my job to promote my own videos, but it's talking about like what to do when people see you a certain way that either maybe doesn't align with how you see yourself, or maybe it really does, but you just don't like it. I talk about that and how people will, misinterpret you. And that's kind of the thesis statement. Fuck them. Your life is not actually a democracy. Is it a democracy paying your bills? Oh, no. You're not collecting like tithes from everyone in your life to pay your credit card bill? Only you are responsible for that? Okay. So they're still getting a vote like they're on the board of directors? Listen, we want to give people the chance to express themselves in our life and offer very valuable feedback. Absolutely. No man is an island. And if we're trying to make decisions in a vacuum, it goes bad. It does. But there has to be, we always talk about the middle path, this roadblock. It's like, okay. I dated someone recently I was very much in love with. And I've had plenty of friends shame me for that. You loved him? Yes, I did. And I probably still do. Thank you for making me feel, wait, am I already brokenhearted? Okay, yeah. Stupid on top of that. Thank you. Thanks. And they're coming at me from a place of not, you are so dumb for falling in love with that man. I mean, maybe a little bit, maybe a little. But I think a lot of it is, I want to snap you out of this. I hate to see you in pain like this. Over him? Oh! No. And so it's like, it's coming from a place of, I want to break the spell. And I want to rescue you from this. And listen, I've been guilty of doing this my whole life with people. I'm I hope I'm not harsh, but I'm sure it's interpreted like that, but it is born of truly a desire to rescue. You're twisted over that guy? He's fat, Julie? And that just makes her feel stupid. And it's like, you're not stupid. I just want to pull you out of this though. And unfortunately, that's just not how it works. I'm going to do a video on the 7M TikTok cult and about how to pull people out of things where they're like delusional. But that video is coming. And another reason this poo-pooing your relationship is so painful is because we talk about this a lot, the pain versus the suffering. The pain is a thing that happened. The pain is losing them. The pain is not just losing them, because when you think about it, they weren't really here that much. Situationship, it's losing hope. It's losing that dream that you would attach to them. And the further down the road you get into that, the more you tell yourself that dream is only possible through them. The way home is through them, no one else. And who has the right out there to shame us for feeling hope and to having a dream? Fuck you. Fuck you. That is so mean. It's so mean. And, you know, this is easier to say than to feel, believe me. But when we have the Matty Healy telling us, like, I never even dated you, isn't that proof positive they're not our soulmate? If they're our soulmate and partner, then why on earth would they be treating us this way? And that's sometimes worse. Like, that feels worse. Oh, it's just horrible. I feel like I'm going to cry through this whole video. This is like a nightmare for me. I'm just like unpacking layer and layer of my own life. This is because so many of us have found ourselves in this position, and it's monstrous. It's monstrous. So listen, feel your feelings. And that there's one key word in there, and it's your. Feel your feelings about this. Don't feel someone else's feelings about this situation. Don't feel your ex's. Yeah, he's your ex. Don't feel your friends. Don't feel your mom's. Don't even feel mine. Feel your feelings, because your mind is already like throbbing with misery. And you know how you can make it worse? Cognitive dissonance. By telling yourself, what is going on inside my mind does not match or warrant the circumstances, right? Cognitive dissonance is, I hate preppy clothes. I have to dress preppy 24/7. That's cognitive dissonance. It creates this neural load, this stress that floods your body with cortisol. That cortisol will kill you. It will create diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure. It will kill you. And I am under my most cognitive dissonance when I'm breaking up with someone. I didn't even like him. He's stupid. I don't even care. And I'm just in misery. And you know what? I have to sequester myself from people. I lie. I'm doing fine. No sweat. I lie. And I push them off so that I don't need to fucking hear their opinion, okay? And I grieve. I mean, I grieve. I take breakups really hard. I think it's because I've lost a parent, but maybe not. Sometimes you lose a dog, and that's, I mean, they're your child, and like that's this deep well of sadness you touch back to. Wherever that well is, you touch back to it immediately when other bad things happen. That pain keeps a memory. And grieve and feel it. And you don't need to justify it to anyone. Taylor herself, that song, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. Like, I love that song. I'm so depressed, I act like it's my birthday. I know that feeling. You're just like a marionette. You're like, okay. And you just zombie walk the fuck through it. And then when you are home, alone in your cave of solitude, you cry. Without judgment, without a story that you're stupid for feeling this way. You are not stupid for demonstrating your ability to love. You are not. You're not. I won't accept that. Nope. At some point in the future, you can do the emotional autopsy of why did I get so twisted over this guy? What red flags did I ignore? But you know what? That can come later, and that will come later. If you are like open to this, which you are, because you are Shalligator, you are a high level thinker. You are. You're the 1% of the 1%. If you open up your mind to that, your psyche will tell you, yeah, when he was XYZ, that felt bad. And we just let it happen because we didn't want to lose him. And actually, I think having no boundaries is what ultimately led him to leave. Because there was no supply and demand issue. There was no value. There was no valuation on my love. It meant nothing. And men need a chase. So, okay, I'm going to clock that. And next time, I'm maybe going to do something differently. I'm going to go left when I went right. Should you call him out? This is the big question. Like, is this a battle you fight? Here's what you could say. Here's the spin, okay? And I don't even think it's a spin. A spin implies it's a lie. No. If someone says to you, it's like, that's funny, Maddie's like, we were never together. This is how I would, okay, ready? Scene. That's what he said. Wow. You know, given the things I've learned about his character through dating him, that actually doesn't surprise me. He is the king of make-believe. You turn it around. You turn it around on them. And I think that really speaks to his character, that he would try to shame a woman whose biggest crime was loving him and accepting him for who he was. That really makes it hard to see him as a man in the same way, hearing that that's how he speaks. You go home and you fall the fuck apart, okay? You go home. You know what? Gosh, I've got a Zoom I got to get to. It was so good catching up with you guys. And then just go to your Tahoe and fucking cry, okay? It's fine. Practice saying that in a mirror. Huh. That's he and I know what happened between us. I don't feel the need to defend it. I do feel the need to just pause and view him as so much less of a man. It's really hard to respect a man who would speak about a woman like that. He wants to shame you? That's funny. He doesn't know you watch Shallon Lester's videos and she's a monster. You shame him right back. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Whatever barbs he's throwing at you, make no mistake, they are coming from a place of his own weaknesses. We insult people based on what we ourselves don't want to hear. You look really fat today. You don't want to get called fat. If that's where you go, that's because you don't want to hear that in reverse. People are constantly telling us who they are, and that means they're telling us their weaknesses, and I love it. And I'm reptilian enough that I always pay attention. And it's tough because I want to launch my little weapons at people from my place, but I'm like, hold on. I might need to come at them from a directionality that wouldn't necessarily be organic for me, but it will land for him. And if he's going to come at me with like, oh, dismissive, you want to be dismissive of a woman, you fucking worm? I'm going to show you what dismissiveness looks like. I'm going to show you what disrespect looks like. I'm going to consign you to the dust of oblivion. And I think about Matty, and I have this flash of their future, and he's like a nobody I'm going to give him at the outside 10 years. If he even lasts that long, he looks like he's made of just tar. You cut him open and just zins fall out of his veins. Taylor's already leveled up. I mean, I'm sure Travis Kelce looks at that dude and is like, no wonder he's not pressed about her fame. He's like, I win. I'm dating this guy now. And he's like, hey, you might know my ex, like Brittany so-and-so. And I was like, hold on. I was like, because I guess she follows someone who knows me, whatever. And I was like, I even said, let me go on Instagram to make sure I'm prettier. And he laughed. I was like, I am. We don't have a problem. He's like, okay. He's like, would it have been a problem if she was prettier than you? I'm like, she would not have been, but I would not have liked it. I probably would have been more like, pissy about it, but she was never going to be prettier than me. So that's cute that you thought that was even a possibility. My point is, I don't know, I just felt the need to get that story off my chest. Maddy Healy's a fucking nobody. And he will come circling back to Taylor, because as much as he acts like, it's hilarious. He is holding on to that album and to everything she's written. And he's like nibbling on it. His ego is feasting on this. He's probably jerking off to the songs about him every day. Every day. And he in his mind thinks, she's obsessed with me. She's always going to be obsessed with me. People like Taylor, creative people, sometimes when you write it out, you get it out. And then you're like, oh, writing is therapy. You know, art and creation is therapy. You get it out onto the canvas, onto the song, whatever it is. And he's going to come back around for her one day. And she's going to be like, we were never even together. And you've been holding on to this all those years. I'm Matty Healy. Your dentures are slipping. Your dentures. Get off my property. That's what situationships do. So if your ex, because he is, you have the right to decide that. Pay very close attention to what is fueling his shade, to like what the meaning is. Decode this. He's dismissive of Taylor. He's very worried about being dismissed. He's not that famous. What is it, the 1975? Did they do Sweater Weather? Sweater Weather. Is that even them? I feel like it's not. Who cares? I don't care. He's not Taylor Swift, right? He's afraid of being forgotten. He's afraid of being forgotten. So if your ex is coming at you, what does that mean? What are they saying and what does that mean for them? This is the first strategy of war. What's someone's weak spot? What is it? They are telling you. They are telling you with every interaction, with everything. And you know what? If you don't know, go with dismissive. Go with that. Like, men are afraid. Every human is afraid of being forgotten. That's why men are so obsessed with like having a kid and like, I need an heir and he's got to have my exact same fucking name and his son will have my same fucking name. Like, they're just obsessed with this concept basically of mortality. Show him that he is mortal. Consign him, like I said, to the dust of oblivion. Who are you? And you have the strength in the class to be like, okay. You don't have to be like, oh yeah, we were never, I don't even know him. You can't flip-flop like that. Like, you cannot pull the 180. It's cheap and it's transparent that you're trying to like backtrack. Don't backtrack. Be like, okay, that's telling that he is so shallow given his behavior behind closed doors. I'm not going to spill his business. I don't need to. I know what happened. I know what transpired. And I don't respect him as a man. The worst thing you can do is call a guy a bitch or a pussy or a beta. You don't have to use any one of these three terms. You can just dance around the edges of them. It'll get back to him. Because especially if he's a narcissist who's like, she's obsessed with me. If you're like, actually you're a beta male. Because remember what a narcissist is. They're very fragile. They're very flimsy on the inside. They're constantly trying to prop themselves up by gobbling up the souls of women around them, you know? And if you're like, yeah, I liked you, but turns out, you are actually, in fact, a punk. You're just a bum. You're just a bum. No, I did like you at first, and then I got to know you. Ooh, isn't that everyone's fear? They're only gonna like me until they get to know me. Oh my God, you're right. I did get to know you and you're the worst. You're so just like lackluster as a man and just mid. Don't let weapons formed against you prosper. Turn them back around on people. I hope there was some bits of helpfulness in this. Like I said, I was just so triggered through the whole episode. Just know that if you're going through this, you're not alone. And no one should ever let you feel that way. That's not cool. That's not okay. You are allowed to feel how you feel. And it was real. And this is the thing, if it wasn't, hey dude, you got me good. You really had me going. I believed you. I believed you when you said you liked me. I believed you when you said you loved me. I believed that you were thinking about the future because you were talking about the future. And I'm sorry that I'm not such a broken person that I was looking at this through the lens of total bullshit and lies. I was actually looking at it through the lens of truth, because that's how I live my life. I am a truthful person. I'm an honest person. And at the end of the day, that's always going to win. And I'm never going to let anyone make me ashamed of being honest and being real and vulnerable. And I'm never going to lionize and glorify the way you move through the world, which is at best incredibly immature, like a 4-year-old, just blah, blah, blah. I'm a fire engine. I want to be a dinosaur when I grow up. Just saying bullshit. That's at the best case scenario. And at the worst, you're a monster. Like, you're a monster weaving lies to deceive who? A woman who liked you? Why? To get an ego boost? That's fucking sad. Like, really look at that. That is the saddest man. That's the smallest man who ever lived. Maybe Taylor doesn't need our hugs. Sounds like she's got it figured out. Let me know what you guys think about this. Like I said, it's the last few days to book the Italy trips. All ages welcome. These are trips for anyone who wants to make some friends, have an amazing vacation, not have to plan it yourself, take some incredible photos. We're bringing 2 professional photographers along on every trip, and hang out with me in one of those beautiful places on planet Earth. All right, I will see you later, Shalligators. Thank you to Nurex for sponsoring this video, and we will see you next time.